Hello, I'm Dr. Michael J. Duckett, and I would like to share with you today, for just a few minutes, on a very important subject, overcoming fear. Overcoming fear. Why is it so important? Because fear is the major obstacle that gets in the way of a person's happiness or greater success. And the funny part about it, fear isn't even real. No, it's not real. You see, we can be regretful of the past, but that's already gone. The present is here now, and it's not too scary. But where does fear exist? It can only exist in the future. We can only be fearful of future events, and since the future isn't here yet, guess what? Fear isn't here either. Since fear isn't real, it's funny how we let it affect, though, our real life. And the effect that it has on it, it turns out to be a robber. It robs you of the good things that you want in your life. What it does is it affects your real life. You see, how it affects your real life is it creates a distortion. It makes the problems, fear makes the problems look bigger than what they are, and it makes your ability to deal with those problems look smaller than what you are. So it's a complete distortion of reality. How can you deal with a real world when you're dealing with it from a distorted reality? It's impossible. Fear is a tether. It tethers an individual. It keeps you stuck. You see, you can only rise to the level of your greatest fear. What will happen is, as better things happen in your life, and you see that more prosperity comes into different areas of your life, your fear will tether you to come right back down, to keep you stuck right where it wants you. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can overcome your fears. Fear is not real. And that's the tricky part about it, is that with fear not being real, to try to deal with it from a realistic standpoint, you will just fool yourself. One of the techniques that we teach in our Overcoming Fear seminar is called a reality check, and this is just one of the exercises that we'll teach you. But in a reality check, what we do is first identify what your fear is. If you're not sure what your fear is, then look for any area of your life that you're feeling some stress. Because stress is an intelligent way of saying fear. It's the same thing. So look for any stressors in your life. These are the areas that you're stuck. These are the areas that will keep you stuck exactly where you're at now. Because like I said, you're only going to rise to the level of your greatest fear. Next, identify where you think that fear came from. Don't get hung up if you can't decide on where it came from. But just see if you can look back and say, that's where I remember it starting, at this point in my life. And like I said, if you can't figure that out, then just keep on going to the next step. The next step is, if this fear, ask yourself this, if this fear came true today in your life, what would happen to you? Start writing this out. This is an important part to write out, because then it goes into your subconscious mind. So start writing it out. What would happen if this fear became real today? What would happen to you? And then write that out. Then, if that part came real, what would happen to you? Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Take it all the way. Some people will go and say, well, I'll become homeless, or then I'll die. Keep going, at least to death or beyond. If you die, what will happen then? Well, you might go to the afterworld. Okay, write that down. What happens next? What happens next? It's important that you play with your fear using this reality check, because what it does is this, is it takes the electrical charge off the fear in your head. If we hook up electrodes to your brain right now and give you a fearful situation, we'd see the electrical impulses going crazy. And what we want to do is diminish the electrical charge that fear is having on your life. Because once again, it's distorting everything. If the mind attracts all your reality and it's full of fear, guess what? You're going to attract more fearful situations. You're going to attract more confusion, which will create more fearful situations as well. To become fearless will give you more life. That's the bottom line of it. The more that you can control this fear or diminish the electrical impulses around your fears, the more life that you get to experience. The more happiness, the more love, the more prosperity in every way. Now, I'm going to ask you once again to just play with your fears. You can do that by visiting www.overcomingfearhome.com, or visit one of our Overcoming Fear seminars in a city near you. Success for every one of us is limited to the level of our greatest fears. Why don't you decide to let fear go and let your life, your ideal life, your dream life come about? Create that burning desire. Keep going no matter what. Keep going because of that burning desire, and do it now. This is Dr. Michael J. Duckett. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.